must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No. I cannot trust these leeches. I cannot trust these streets. I cannot trust these bitches. I gotta trust on me. I cannot tell my business. Stretching out racks, no fitness. Yeah, I swear we go. We need to go down and get this. I put the gang on my shoulders and carry on. I put the strap on my shoulder and bring it home. Haters be low-key fans and singing my songs. I swear to God, if I see them in person, I'm doing them wrong. I gotta stay focused, they pull out their camera, take pics. Every time I'm closing my eyes, I'm seeing me running from pigs. She don't speak or don't talk, she shy, she needed something to get lit. You coming in, fuck up the vibe, we scratching your name out the list. Yeah, I got my soul in this. Yeah, then I told them this. Yes, sir. Yeah, gotta stay focused. Yeah, we don't focus. I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No. I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No.
Yeah, maybe too big, it can't fit in the driveway. I've been fucking hard since Big Worm been on Friday. I've been tripping hard on these hoes since MySpace. Taking the top out of beans, baby. Taking the top out of beans. If I pull up with your rent, baby, you gotta swallow my kids. If I'm a dog, I'm a pit, baby. Having fantasy love with a rich lady. I put it on my list. She mad, I told my friends. I stop hanging with your nigga, just fuck on you. Every day, baby, on your daddy. And I wanna caress you, just fuck on you, bitch. I'm trying to add you to my life. Rose gold beans, rose gold rims and ties. Rose gold shaded chain gang. All's brother is bro, that is up in Petersburg. Slaw, make your pussy slurp.
Today, we're going to talk about the glorious day we had yesterday. College football, college basketball, and NBA winners for tonight. And, of course, the squad ride. This is Behind the Lines.
But Rodgers is a fucking fossil. This team's in shambles. The Steelers are a wagon at home. It's going to be a gross fucking game. And I'm going right back to fading the Jets.
And once again, the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, when the lights are bright, do not show up and they fold. Their receivers are banged up. The ones out there couldn't catch shit. Their defense is taking a step back. This 49ers team is a fucking joke, and I'm looking at you, Kyle Shanahan. You're supposed to be that guy.
In the postseason for the first time in his career, and they find a way to fucking blow it. Look, we should have known the Yankees bullpen was going to come back and bite them in the ass at some point. They've been a little bit too good, but my goodness, did we think it was going to be Big Christmas?
Welcome to BTL episode 585 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by our two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, what are you doing? Start tracking your bets today on Bookit Sports, the best bet tracking app out there by far. Go check out Bookit Sports. Jovan, I'll cut right to it. Great day yesterday, my man. 8-2 overall. Can we clap it up?
Love that.
Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. We get some W's going in the chat. Please. Great day yesterday. How we doing? Can we get a roll call going? Where are my goats at? Let me know. Where are my goats at? Show yourself. I see Chiote in the chat. Sure. Gents, we're going to have a great day today. A great Wednesday. We have a glorious college basketball slate loaded. We've got NBA, NHL, college football, some action as well. I've got a play that I love. Once again, we're hot on the gridiron. Let's keep it that way. Let's stay hot. 2-0 last night on the gridiron. Let's make it 3-0 after the play I've got tonight.
I was going to say, people forget. You did go 2-0 in action yesterday.
Sure.
Not easy.
People do forget that. Yes, not easy to do. Yes, very good accomplishment. I agree. Let's hop into it. Let's do the squad ride recap from yesterday. Jovan, great call. Late night over on the ice. Let's fucking go, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
2 words. Yes.
Second we started talking about it, I knew that should have been the sharp report total that I had on there.
It just felt right. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Yep. Something about that over. We could tell when we were talking about it, you fell in love with it. That's all I needed to see. Put that puppy in there. Next thing you know, it's green. Great fucking call. Didn't matter if you got 6.5 at plus chicken. That shit smacked. Hope you guys tapped. should tail the squad ride every day responsibly for a unit, at least, maybe 2, and go about your day. All right? No more, no less. Make sure you guys are staying involved. Let's go to the Sharp Report recap. Take a peep at that puppy. Whoa, a lot of green. Sure. The Hawk will never die. St. Joe's. Great fucking game. Great bet. Sure.
Island Krabs. We love Island
Villanova,
Krabs.
a bunch of frauds. Fake Sharp. Anybody know who took that play? Not locked in right now. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Ball State, free. Bowling Green, free. Pretty blown about Braden Sloan, but I'm going to try to get my lick back with a running back today in Maction. Try to get our coins back there. And then Hayden Wolf, that fade was free as mom. Jovan, 4-1 from you as well. I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, shout out the Big 12 teams. TCU did their job. Baylor did their job. Baylor fucking mucked. That was actually pretty fun to see. Noah Reynolds is also goated. Shout out him, Krabs. He has been hooping.
It's actually him. He's actually him. We know that now. Yes. We know that now. He's actually him. Noah Reynolds was very excited to see when he ended up on TCU for your sake. I have a feeling we're going to be betting on that guy a little bit this season. He's a bucket.
He's been really good. TCU's not very good, but he's pretty good.
Well, yeah. That's all right. You're better than the Hokies. We're out here fucking not covering against Winthrop. Okay? We got bigger problems. Chat, hope you guys cashed yesterday. Seriously, I hope you guys tailed. We were locked in. Let's run that shit back again today. We got Exemplify coming in, resubbing during TMA. W's. Love to see that. If you guys missed TMA earlier today, you can always go back and rewatch on YouTube. LC was on there earlier today. Go see what they're crafting up for tonight. Go back and rewatch that on the YouTube. Drop a like as well. W Mikey always killing it in the mornings. All right. No steam crabs today. Life is good. The bets are hitting. I got nothing to bitch about. I got one thing for you guys before we move into some plays for today. If you have not already joined Team Trent, now is the time. All right. You're running out of time. Join Team Trent now. We'll drop the link in the chat. Could not be easier to sign up. You put the email associated with the Prize Picks account. You click Team Trent. You click submit. Boom. You're done. Okay, we'll go ahead and pin that link in the chat. If you guys want to get involved, join the team. Join the team. Get involved. We're going to win that shit for you guys. Nobody's going to work harder in crafting up this lineup for the weekend than us. All right, join the team. Get involved. Let me know in the chat if you've already joined. Okay, looks like Coffee Not Coffee's already joined the team. Love to see it. Love to see it. Get involved. Join Team Trent. Yeah.
That game went over relatively easily, and TCU shot like 15 of 35 or whatever it was from the free throw line, dude.
Sure.
It's pissing me off.
Insane. Looks like chats get involved. I mean, they're already joining the team. We got Prosper's joining, Turner Mac, Shore, Rampage Bets, like Lightning, Dead Larry Bird. Let's fucking go, dude. Let me know when we got a system play.
Getting in the lab for stuff today, too. We got our official craft session tomorrow, but we have all been talking, been labbing. I know Krabs came through with some lab work and some squares yesterday on Surge, I believe. And we're getting some stuff together tonight. So we need all nugs. I don't know if Trent's taking them today or tomorrow or whatever the deal is with Surge Stream, but everybody is invited. Get them ready. Get the 10-piece, the 20-piece.
Get them up and moving. We're going to need them. Okay, so get those picks ready for today or tomorrow, chat. You know, Trent is starving for some NFL squares this weekend. I saw one square go up. Sam Darnold interception. It's looking at me kind of funny. I'm sure we'll talk about that one tomorrow if it's still up. Okay, but yes, in the lab. And Jovan, don't be afraid to use that doc that I sent as well yesterday if you want to throw down some of your plays that you like as well. I'm sure tomorrow we're going to absolutely lock in. I know we have a stream tomorrow. We're going to craft up this puppy in the afternoon. I'm excited for it. Big day tomorrow, but let's get through today first. All right, let's hop into the Sharp Report for today. Let's get involved. We'll go ahead and hop into some of our favorite plays for today, chat. And I'm going to go ahead and get it started out with Akron. Plus 14.5. We're going to need the points here. I love to say, keep the points. We don't need them. We're going to need the points here. Okay, but we're getting 14.5. So great start already. Look, Akron, one of the worst college football teams in the country. Don't get me wrong. They're moose. They're terrible. But they made the QB change to Ben Finley after game one. And they took my guy Taj Bullock out, who was a former Hokie, which has been kind of the move. Honestly, Finley, from the Finley QB family, came over from NC State a couple years ago. This kid's not great, but he's good enough to keep this within 2 touchdowns against NIU, a team that we actually took in their last game. We backed them. They had an electric win, big-time win. They stopped the bleeding after back-to-back losses, NIU. But, guys, the Huskies, I'm going to tell you what I told you guys last time. They do the opposite of what they're supposed to do damn near every game. And I know we hit our nail on the head, betting NIU in that last game, but you got Akron coming off some extra rest here. They have, I believe 11 days to prep for this game compared to NIU, who's on a short week. I'm all over Akron here in the spot, down from 17.5 to 14.5. And I do think they keep this one within 2 touchdowns or even, 10 points. This game's going to be way closer than people expect. NIU, they just simply haven't done the job when they were expected to this season at all. Nothing's going to change against Akron coming in hungry as heck, 2-7 this season. But I like Ben Finley under center, and they have won a game of late, and I think they carry some of the momentum from their last game against Buffalo, where they put up a 30-piece as well offensively. I'll take my chances with Akron, whose offense has looked much better over the last couple of weeks, getting 14.5 points against fraudulent NIU.
Sure. I can't say I have many confident action angles, so I will gladly lean on you for something in any of these games.
Yeah. I mean, we could touch on them briefly. We're probably not going to go over these games. The other two are Moose. Kent State, Miami of Ohio laying 30.5. Kent State's 0-9, looking for their first win. I'm not fading. I'm not tailing. Miami of Ohio, kind of fraudulent on offense as well, so that game sketches me out. And then Eastern Michigan, Ohio. I mean, besides the Prize Pick Square we're going to talk about in a moment, Jovan, I got nothing in that game, to be honest with you. I guess I would lean Ohio. I think that's a good ML piece as well, but I'm not playing that spread. No chance. Only play I like on the gridiron today, it's got to be Akron against the Huskies on the road.
Sure.
Okay.
Ben Finley, Cal legend. People forget.
Sure. Yeah, he did make a stop at Cal. Didn't play much.
Yeah.
NC State
He
for a
lost
couple of
his
years,
job
was a
within
backup.
2 weeks.
Yeah, he did. Not the guy, but good enough to keep it within 14 against NIU.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's all we need.
Sure. Let's swing it back around to your plays. Let's see what you're crafting up for today on a Wednesday. Oh, speak of the
Cal.
devil. Huh.
Yeah, speak of the devil. It's
Okay.
They're getting 8.5 going into Vandy, which I like this Vandy team. I like the Cal team too. They've got some hoopers, but I like this Vandy team. So I think it's a new age over there. So they're going to be a much better team than they've been the past couple of years. But this might break the streak, Krabs, because you know how long it's been since Cal's gotten a win on the road in non-conference?
I'm assuming it's been a while, the way you're posing the question, right?
2017.
Nah.
And last time, I think it was San Diego State. That was the last time they got a win on the road. And then a couple weeks later, they went to play the DeAndre Ayton Arizona team. So it's been that long. 0-9 or 0-9. And they haven't had many trips. They usually get like one or two, like every single season. Hasn't worked out very well. They've covered some games. And honestly, coincidence or not, the couple that they have covered have also been when they're plus 8.5, which is kind of funny. But I like Vandy. Like I said, this team, they're doing like the whole 1 through 5 thing. They named, everybody, I think we talked about this. They named everybody point guards on their depth chart to be funny because they want everybody to be versatile and they want to switch everything. The problem with that against Cal, they can take advantage of that because they're going to have 3 or 4 guys on the court at any time, along with a big, probably the best big outside of Fardaws they've had in quite a while. And Fardaws had his problems too. They got a lot of guys that can give you buckets. They got Baby Stojakovic. They got Jovan Blackshear, who's a dog. They got a guy that I'll talk about in the Sharp Report in a second, but they're going to take him off the dribble. They also want to play in transition. They haven't been able to do that so far this season. I think they scored like a combined 15 points in their 2 games in transition on the fast break, which is not how they want to play basketball. Vandy's transition defense first couple of games has been really, really bad. So this is probably a game where you're going to get points. And if you're going to play switchable defense against Cal, I think that's where you're going to run into a lot of trouble because they have a lot of guys with size and length and athleticism that are going to give Vandy some problems. So I guess on paper, initially, this kind of appears like a big spread for a dog shit Vandy team, but the more I looked into it, the more I kind of backed off that, and I certainly want to back Cal. I think they might win this game.
Dude, I think you're right. That total's high as heck, but it is coming down. And we'll talk about this game a little bit more in a moment. I've got a square in this one as well. I think you do too. High-ass total. There should be some points in this game overall, but I'm not banking on that overhitting. We'll talk about this game a little bit more in a moment, but I do like Cal as a side and fading Vandy, getting that many points back in a historically terrible team on the road that does have some dogs. I think Jovan Blackshear, W name, W player, very, very underrated. Wherever he's gone in his career, he's done a great job. Floor general, underrated piece for that Cal team. Yeah. And Vandy, their defense hasn't looked great this season, but I feel like offensively they've overperformed. They put up over 100 points against University of Maryland Eastern Shore. And then SEMO, they put up 85 points. So offense is not the issue, but I think facing their first real team this season, you're going to see the real Vandy true colors in this game, and it's going to be much closer and a little bit more low scoring than that total showing. Still going to be a lot of points. Like the under could still hit. They could still put up 150 total points. It could be one of the higher scoring games of the day, looking at how high that total is. Would not be surprised if we see both teams putting up, 75 points-ish. But I still like the less than that I'm going to talk about here in a moment once we get to the prize pick squares in this game.
Wow.
I think you will as well.
In this game?
Yeah, I do. It's not on your Cal Bears, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's not on your Cal Bears.
I figured that.
All right.
And Dom's asking if this is the guy from Nevada. Not the guy from Nevada. The guy from Grand Canyon. Different.
Yeah, I was doing hilarious you say that because I was telling Goots before the show today, doing some research in CBB. And I was looking at Blackshear, right? And that reminded me of our GOAT Blackshear on Nevada from last year. And obviously was looking to see what he's doing this season. He's playing overseas in the Polish professional basketball league. He's playing professionally overseas. So good for him. I thought there was a chance maybe he gets picked up or signed by an NBA team or G League. He just can't shoot. But rooting for Blackshear overseas. But this is a different one. Also a dog. Both are very good. Yeah.
And last thing I'll say about this game, because I noticed this watching Cal the first couple games, they're going to give up some open threes, which maybe will affect whoever you have on the Sharp report. I haven't seen that, but you know how Vandy has shot so far this year from three in the first couple games? No. Oh. Not good at all. Terrible. They've been really bad. 10 of 59, and that includes 3 for 25 in their last game.
So how have they been scoring? They've been feeding the ball inside of their two big men?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, McLaughlin's been incredible. He's a guy from BC that I really like, but he's faced, I don't know, he's been playing like the 4. So, like, he's taking advantage of some smaller defenders, which, again, the guy that I'm betting on prize picks today he's got the size. So that matchup's not really going to be there today. So, yeah, that's been the big part. And, Jason Edwards, also just slasher of century.
He's been him.
Yeah.
He's been him. He's got a high-ass prize pick square today, too. Yep. All right, let's swing it around. I want to hear about the T-Wolves here, and then we'll go to my 2 plays. But what do you like in the NBA tonight? What do you like about the T-Wolves?
Yeah, so the rare, back-to-back in the same location. Obviously, it's a little weird because we have cup games and non-cup games on a back-to-back scenario. I don't know that we saw that last year necessarily, but the T-Wolves, partially a system play because they did blow Trent his lay, I think, last night because he laid minus 400 on them on the road against the Portland Trailblazers. And what do you know? They got absolutely blitzed in that game. Never really competitive. And, of course, sold a lot of people, not just Trent. So they didn't play well last game. Anthony Edwards shot toward 8s. Naz Reid was really the only one who showed up for that team. Everybody else was absolutely terrible. Julius Randle was a no-show. They were out-physicaled, outplayed in every single form and fashion. Then we get to today, same game, same location. They go up from 7.5 to 9.5. I'm in for really that reason and that reason alone. They're going to bounce back. It's weird too because it's NBA Cup play versus a non-Cup play game. So, like, obviously the motivation was there yesterday for both teams, but especially like on the Trailblazers side because they do have a good crop of young players. The young players and the teams with a lot of them have been, tending to play a little harder. And not that the T-Wolves aren't like super old, but they have more veterans outside of Anthony Edwards that they're kind of relying on. So I think back-to-back scenario, I am forced by hand to take the T-Wolves, especially with the line move up.
I think this is a great font. It's as simple as, Minnesota coming in off of back-to-back losses is minus 7.5 and minus 9 favorites. And Portland's last game was a win against Minnesota, the same team. So great angle there. You can already back that right off the rip. Maybe the T-Wolves coming off of back-to-back losses will be a little bit more hungry. Maybe they'll fucking wake up, get going today. They'll do job, laying 9.5 on the road to a Portland team that just beat them outright. Love it. Great play. I've got a similar NBA angle today. Curious if you like it. And after hearing your sell job, you might have the better one, which I was surprised about. I didn't like anything else on the NBA until you just gave that sell job. But Celtics, minus 8.5, kind of similar. They're coming in off a terrible loss last night. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe biggest outright loss in NBA history when they were laying 16 points to the Hawks last night and lost outright. Crazy. I think that's literally history in the NBA. Somebody called Guinness. I'll go ahead and back Boston.
I think they had one after. I think they might have had one last year that was a little bigger, but I think it's definitely the biggest this year.
Okay. And that's insane to lose as minus 16-point favorites. I'll back that team 9 times out of 10 their next game anyways. But in this scenario, I like it even better because you got a Brooklyn Nets team coming in off of back-to-back covers. They almost beat Cleveland 2 games ago. And then they just beat the Pelicans on the road in their last game as well. So Brooklyn's starting to play kind of good, but the Celtics are catching steam on the road after a historic loss. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take the C's to bounce back, moving from -8, -7.5 up to -8.5 here.
Yeah, I won't have anything to say about that. You gotta love, even when it's the Celtics backing teams off of massive losses like that. I mean, not only did they lose without, or they lost as more than 2 touchdown favorites, but they lost to the Hawks without Trae Young at home.
I mean, come
that
on.
is despicable activity.
It's got to be a wake-up call for the Celtics. And although I don't love backing them or the best teams in the NBA in this spot, a rare backing for a good team in the NBA and the Celtics tonight. I love the -8.5. They win by 10+.
Yep. They did also play, I think, a little bit ago, and they took them to overtime in Boston.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Huh. Add that to the list. Interesting. Yeah. Can confirm that game was close. 108-104 final. Only a couple days ago. All right. Awesome. Well, I like that play. I also really like this over in college basketball tonight. Our beloved Queens. We get to bet on them tonight, kind of. They're playing BYU, and they're on this like West Coast trip. I think they played Utah last night. They got crushed. They gave up like 100 points to Utah on the roads. I mean, this Queens team, respectfully, bless their hearts, they really just don't have a chance on the defensive side of the ball. But the way they play on offense is the reason why I want to take this over in this game. Queens, top 10 in pace of play in college basketball, and that's not just a fluke through the first couple games. That's what they do. They run. Okay, BYU is the opposite. BYU is like a fucking turtle. Well, I do think Queens, they might not be putting the ball in the hoop more often than BYU is in this game. Look at that fucking spreads. I do think Queens and their fast pace will not only help them, give them an advantage when they're on offense at times in this game, trying to speed up, get down court, score in transition. That's what Queens does best, use their athletic ability. I think they'll score a little bit. And I also think them speeding up the game is going to help BYU put the ball in the hoop as well. Typically, they're like a turtle on offense. They won't be able to today. They're going to be getting run up the entire time. Queens is going to try to fucking push the tempo and the pace. And BYU is going to speed up their possessions on offense as well because that's what Queens does. All right. And Queens also doesn't play a lick of defense. Okay. So BYU is probably going to get theirs. And this total is also high as heck and moving up as well. And probably has some of the sharpest splits I've seen of the day today. On this, and they're getting less than 30% of the bets, but close to 90% of the handle on this over. Crazy action on this over. Some big bets, including mine. I'll take points in BYU tonight. Queens might give up another 100 piece, to be completely honest with you. And once you get into the second half of this game, they're going to have some tired legs as well since they played last night. And if they're out of this game, they might just give up, throw in the fucking towel. And I see points. I think that only helps the defenses collapse and the offenses score fucking buckets, in my opinion, on some tired legs. So that hurts the defense more, and I think that's going to hurt Queens in this game. BYU probably covers and wins massively and probably puts up 100 piece themselves.
Yeah, I'm in on that. I don't know how BYU doesn't score maybe more than 100 points in this game. So you probably won't need too much from Queens.
Sure.
A back-to-back, a Utah back-to-back of all teams or of all places to do it is crazy. Whoever scheduled that for Queens should be fired.
That's tough. I mean, they don't give themselves a fucking chance here with these two matchups. But I like points in this game. Somebody in the chat was bringing up the Mount. Have to address it. I think somebody in chat said they're about to go to this game today. To my friend in chat, I think it was Jedris. The Mount do have a huge game today. And look, they always have one good player, typically one good guard on their team that's just a stud, doesn't even belong, shouldn't be playing on their fucking team, ends up transferring somewhere else. Kind of like Dakota Leflu, who I believe went to Georgia this offseason. They typically have one good guard. Well, I found their guard this year. Jedris. So if you're going to the game today, watch out for Dallas Hobbs. Great name, better jump shot. This kid's a stud. Only a sophomore as well. Dallas Hobbs, averaging close to 20 points a game this season. He is the next Mount star. He's the next Jalen Benjamin. And if he doesn't go off today, the Mount doesn't have a chance, but he's been carrying, even against fucking Maryland. He balled and put up over 20 points. So look out for Dallas Hobbs. He's the next Mount legend. W's. Had to be done. Had to be done. Yeah, 19 Jedris, boots on ground. Enjoy the show, my man. I like the +5.5, but I'm not going to bet it. Not going to bet it. What's up, Mush? How we doing, Beast? All right, let's move. Let's groove. I want to get a Jovan's plays here. We'll wrap up the straight bets. What are you cooking up over there on the ice?
Little Red Wings Penguins over. Shout out Don't Fade for a 5U sub banger. We love that.
How about 5 subbies coming in from Don't Fade 86? Let's fucking go, my man. W's.
Goat. Said W day yesterday. W don't fade.
Yes.
But yes, this over in the Rangers Red Wings Penguins game. the Red Wings are coming off of a shutout, and I don't know if you saw the Penguins last game, Krabs. It did come with a lot of goals. They ain't like they had a shortage of goals in their game against the Stars, but it wasn't from them. The Stars spawned in that game up 6-0. I think it finished 7-1.
Oh, I had the Stars. Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did. That's right. I mean, that was one of I know they've had some pretty low lows like the past year and a half the Penguins have, but
yeah,
that felt like a rock bottom performance. And now they're starting to ask questions about cleaning house. They're starting to make trades. So it felt like that was, I don't know, probably a sign of things to come. But in this game specifically, I'm going to have to back them to at least come out aggressive after that game and say we just got our shit punched in the mouth. And especially like in the first period by the Stars, the bleeding never really stopped early in that game. I think they're going to come out super aggressive. It's not like they don't rip either. Like as bad as they've been defensively, they come out aggressive in a lot of these games. They shoot puck a lot. They're like top 5 in SOGs in the league right now. So not too crazy to say they're going to come out aggressive in this game. But yeah, both that and the fact that the Red Wings just got embarrassed at home by the Rangers, who we all know, not only like Igor was fucking terrible last night. Didn't even get to talk about that, but they got shut out by Quick. So his little understudy at home. Now they get to go on the road and start their little road trip against 3 teams that they honestly should take care of with ease. We know it's probably not going to happen because the NHL is the NHL, but Penguins, Ducks, Kings is their little road trip here. The Kings might be a tricky one, but I think they want to come out hot in this road trip too. To start, I usually target the end of the road trips, but I think for the Red Wings, I want to target the front end. So I think we get goals in this game back and forth. And there's a couple, I guess, individual player narratives on both sides too that I think lend itself to it. But give me goals. Pens bounce back, and so do the Red Wings.
Love it. Pens coming in off of getting spanked 7-1 in their last game. You got the Red Wings coming in off of scoring 1 goal in their last 2 games combined. How about some goals? How about the over? Love it. Buying low on the offenses. Like you said, it's not like the Penguins haven't been ripping puck. They just haven't found the net. They're due. Love the play. Love the play. Let's hope it goes similarly to last night's over on the ice.
Love that.
Let's stay hot. Let's stay hot. All right. W plays. Krabs taking -160 on Stars. Needs to be addressed. The puck line was free. Sure, Prime. The puck line was free, man. You got me. You got me. Puck line was free. Let's go to the Prize Pick squares. Let's talk about those. I got a couple that I really like today. And yep, there's the Vandy fades. The guy that you were talking about acting like he's LeBron. Great. We'll talk about that one in a moment, though. Let's start out with some college football. Good. Let's start out with some college football here. All right, we've got Anthony Tyus the second. This kid's a fucking stud. Transferred in from Northwestern. He was a backup running back there the last couple of years. He's a senior this year. Anthony Tyus has been the centerfold of this Ohio offense that's typically pretty pass-heavy, but after losing guys like Curtis Rourke and co., and Sam Wiglutz over the years, they've kind of shifted to more of a rushing attack, or at least more of an even attack. And Anthony Tyus is coming off an unbelievable game against Kent State, where he had 85 yards on only 14 carries. I'm looking at this game today, and I'm seeing Ohio up to -11, 11.5, depends on where you're looking. I do lean Ohio in this game, and I do like that total's moving up as well. Probably a good sign for Ohio, and if I think they're going to be leading this game and winning this game, I do think they're going to be handing the ball off to their stud running back a ton in this contest, and Anthony Tyus is the guy for the job. Just told you he had a great day against Kent State in his last game. This guy also had 200 yards against Syracuse, the first game of the season. He can play. He came over from Northwestern. This kid's legit, and his rushing yards got bumped up from like 69.5 to 75.5. It's been moving and grooving up. I think in a W game script, they hand the ball off to their guy for a record amount of time this season, probably a 20-piece. Most carries he's gotten all season. And we see Anthony Tyus carry the Ohio Bobcats to a win and soar over his rushing yards.
Man.
We got a hype train moving and grooving? Wow.
Rumors
swirling. Sure. We got Quentin Locks coming in resub. Let's go, Quentin Locks. Sure we can. And then, Devin McLaughlin. Insane name. Maybe even better jump shot, to be honest with you. This kid's good. Jovan, you talked about him earlier. Transferred from Boston College. He's been the centerfold of this Vandy offense so far this season, but it's early. Okay, and this Vandy team is deep. You just haven't really seen it yet. It's been all the McLaughlin show so far. And I think today, facing their first real opponent for the season, you're going to see the rest of the guys have to step up. And if I was the coach of the other team, I'd say, we got to cool off McLaughlin. We got to double cover him at times. We eliminate him from the game. Let's see how else Vandy can win. Because right now, it's just been handing the ball to fucking McLaughlin. He takes 10, 11 shots per game and goes more than, he's only at 12.5 points for today. in a game that I do see some points, but I do think ends up going under the total, like I talked about earlier. And you talked about liking Cal as a side. Maybe even they pull off a crazy upset here on the road and get a win for the first time in like 7 years. Wouldn't that be something? And I don't think Devin McLaughlin is going to have another great day facing the first real defense he's seen all season. I want to fade Vandy here in this game. I like your Cal angle, and I want to fade Devin McLaughlin, who's been an absolute stud for Vandy so far. Tonight, it'll be someone else. It won't be him.
Yeah, I'm in on that. It's not even like that I think Cal is the first like real team they've played, but it's either like it's one of two things, because like Vandy's had him at small ball 5 at times. If they do that, I mean, he's going to be on Sissoko or Lee Dort. Good luck scoring on either of those guys. And if not, if they put him at the 4, then he's on 6'8" BJ Omot or Joshua Olajoseph, who came over from Minnesota, who I think also might be 6'8". So he's been going against a lot of smaller defenders in the first 2 games against shitters. That's not the case today.
Somebody in chat asked about the running back square as well, saying, can we please confirm that Ohio doesn't have 20 running backs? They don't have 20 running backs. They do have a backup running back, Ricky Hunt Jr., who's a freshman who gets, 7 to 9 carries a game. It depends on the script. I bake that in. I'm not worried about it. And I do think they'll lean on the senior more here at home in one of their last home games and his last home games of his career. And they feed him. And they're scoring plenty of points as well in this game. And that total moving up, spread hanging around 11. I think it's got to be Ohio. And a W game script, hand the ball off to your GOAT Tyus. Love that it's getting bumped up as well. Love it. Chat, this is how we get the coins back from that Moose running back square yesterday. All right, our guy Tyus is coming through. And then we're fading McLaughlin tonight in that big cow game. All right? Jovan, what are you cooking up on Prize Picks today, man? I'm excited to see it.
I'll start with the Penguins. These are two related reads, I guess, for 2 of my book plays. Erik Karlsson, 2.5 SOGs, which I think last game when they were against the Stars, he was one of the more popular plays I guess I'd seen. It was definitely top of pop tab. He was super green, bageled, had absolutely nothing. And not only am I backing like the whole offense in general to bounce back for the Penguins and at least show some life and rip. Obviously, I think you're going to score too. But when you have situations like these, especially when the locker room seems like it's been kind of lost, and I'm not saying that they're really going to get it back, but I want to lean on some of the veterans, whether it's Sidney Crosby, whether it's Malkin, whether it's Karlsson. In this specific matchup, you have I love targeting teams that give up a lot of shots to D-men because that's pretty easily where you get teams that need to be aggressive. They start kind of from the back and go the other way. Like the Lightning do that often with Victor Hedman whenever they come out and they want to put pucks on net. The Red Wings also give up the 5th most shots to D-men in the league, so it makes sense from that perspective. So I think it all lines up matchup-wise. The added narrative of it, too. Erik Karlsson, this actually just happened, I think, before we started this morning. They're doing this thing. They, fucked up the All-Star game, so they're doing this Nations League or Nations Cup thing, where they're representing their country. They just came out in I don't know what position this guy has for Sweden, if he's the coach or whatever, some powerful Swedish person. He said, Erik Karlsson has no business being on this team. They're saying they fucked up with the selection. So saying he doesn't belong. It's interesting. I've never played for my country, obviously, but if I have somebody important telling me I have no business representing my country in something new, something fun, something that I'm sure you take a lot of pride in, I would think that one of these guys is going to come out pretty fired up, especially when you need it as a clubhouse period. So give me Erik Karlsson to rip. I think he's going to be the impetus for the Pens tonight. Then Cal, the guy that I talked about, BJ Omot. He's again one of those guys that Cal has a lot of guys that can take you off the dribble. Omot is not the guy they're going to put the ball in his hands all that much, but I think he's really important for this game. Because like I talked about, Devin McLaughlin is either going to be a stretch 5 or he's probably going to be matched up with BJ Omot. So they're going to switch everything. That's what Vandy does. That's how they play. That's how they're going to play really the majority of this year. So you're going to have BJ Omot, who I think is going to be pretty big in transition. They've said multiple times that when they go out and they play teams and run in transition, that Omot is such a versatile weapon to have because he can play in the open court. He can run the floor. He's a very good finisher at the rim. So when they do play in transition, I think he's going to be a part of it. But also when they do play McLaughlin at the stretch 5, he's going to have a great matchup against somebody much smaller than him at the 4. And he's just going to be the guy that they're going to run the pick and roll a lot and keeping the big outside. It's like, I think this is the perfect chance. He's also going to have a bigger role in the first 2 games too, because he's a great defender. And I think his presence on defense is pretty important for this game too. So I love everything. I think this is a big upside game for him. So I'm taking his PRA.
BJ Omat. He's about to turn into Shaq tonight.
I mean, he can shoot, so like he doesn't have to be Shaq. You like go ahead.
I'm dropping the link to the BTL format in the chat right now, by the way. I just locked it on.
There is a pretty funny square up there. I guess this kind of relates to Shaq. But he has a rebound square up, which I also thought was pretty weird after he literally bageled last game.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right here against Cal Poly.
Yeah, not a single board. And I think it's not an accident because Cal had 4 fast break points in that game. So like it's probably maybe not for rebound sake where he's going to get most of his, but just like his overall production and the ball in his hands a lot more. You're going to get that when they play in transition. They didn't do that a lick against Cal Poly.
All right. I can buy into BJ Omat. Do your fucking job tonight, my man. And then Eric Carlson, don't want to let this get swept either. He's also coming in off of Shug's bagel for SOGs as well. So love to see it.
It's a different kind of double bagel narrative.
Yeah.
Not on one player, but on both of them combined, I guess.
Both. Double bagel. You're getting a bacon, egg, and cheese, and you're getting a bagel with cream cheese. 2 piece. 2 piece.
Yeah.
All right.
I did look this up too. It was the coach of Sweden who said that, because I thought that's what I saw, but I wanted to confirm. The coach of Team Sweden said, coach weird, and GM said his shortcomings are too great in such a short tournament. Like, well, coming out and just straight up saying we shouldn't have selected Eric Carlson. Like, what the fuck is
weird,
that?
Bro?
It's crazy.
He's about to be playing on your team. You're about to be coaching him, chirping him like that. I mean, maybe there's some beef that goes back, years with that. I mean,
there's probably something behind the scenes we don't know. But saying that is crazy. That's a guy I want my coins on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Great angle, great narrative. Eric Carlson. Let's hope he does his job tonight for the Penguins. We like the over in that game, sure. More than 2.5 SOGs. And then BJ Omat coming in off of fucking Shug's bagel for his rebounds. Let's take his PRA. Go out there and do your job tonight, young man. Please. All right? Dubs. Chew, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Justin's saying we should ban Ball State, even though they came through and won last night. That was a sweaty game. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Sweaty, dude.
That's why we play, chat. You don't want it to be easy, okay? If it was easy, it wouldn't be as fun. They made us earn that one. Hard-earned for Ball State. Crazy. All right. Awesome. Love the prize pick squares. Already locked in a BTL 4-man. $100 to win a rack. Little 10Xer, and I dropped the link in the chat earlier. If you guys want to tail, it should still be up there in the chat. So get involved. Little 4-piece. Hold the fry. All right. Dubs, let's move. Let's groove. What do you want to talk about now, my man? Also, I do want this on record. We did kind of cash the TNT 2-man last night. We had one leg push, one leg hit. They get paid out like 1.5x. So if you guys tailed that TNT 2-man, you at least got some coins. Maybe not the full shebang, but that did kind of smack. So we celebrate for TNT 2 pieces in the NBA in this house. We do. We do.
Take those coins.
All right. I don't have much, on the gridiron, to be completely honest with you, with these other games. Kind of already addressed it. Not loving much in Kent and Miami of Ohio or Eastern Michigan and Ohio, besides obviously our running back prize pick square. It's got to be Akron. Respectfully, that's the only play that I really like on the gridiron tonight. Akron plus 14.5. Do not want to let that play get swept. All right. Do you want to go to the college basketball board maybe? Talk through some of these games. Loaded slate today.
Gladly.
Loaded slate. Maybe we can go to Pickett Pro, take a peep at some of these games, some of these matchups, and see what we're looking at over here. We'll take a peep. Chat, let me know if you guys have any plays you like in college basketball. A ton today. There's a lot of games that were looking at me kind of funny. Unfortunately, not the Albany game or Dartmouth, the early start, but we can get in the lab here and talk about some of these other early starts like Wagner and St. John's. Jovan, are you buying into the Red Storm this season? Do you like what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily 100% bought in just yet, but it's kind of a tough matchup for Wagner because, St. John's wants to play with a little pace. That's exactly the opposite of what Wagner is going to want to do. So outside of the fact that talent gap is pretty large, size advantage is going to be pretty big too. That's a pretty tough matchup. So I'm not laying it with St. John's, but pretty tough to make me think Wagner stays in it.
Yeah, you don't typically see Wagner, getting disrespected on the lines as well. That's a pretty solid basketball program. Wagner is. They've been in the tournament in recent years as well. That's a fat number for St. John's, laying 26.5. Jeesh. They probably cover that game, but you're not going to see me betting on it. No chance. What about Richmond and Charlotte? Goots is in my ear earlier talking about Richmond. He's liking it today. Their spread's down as well from like +3 the other night to +1.5, +1, depends on where you're looking. But any thoughts on Richmond on the road against Charlotte, a team that's depleted? They don't have Mia Khalifa Stepbro anymore. They don't have their coach anymore, who went back to UVA to be their new head coach. A Charlotte 49ers team that's pretty depleted, nothing special. Do we think it's the Richmond Spiders coming in with a better coach, getting a win on the road here?
Yeah, it just might be, dude. I think Charlotte's defense, which I think we're kind of used to seeing them in the previous regime, previous teams, like be a much better defensive team than they've been to start this year. Richmond's offense is not great. I feel like their defense is the perfect kickstart to that. It's like that line move is certainly weird, certainly is on the road, and I wouldn't mind leaning into that.
Yeah, I would not either. That's for sure. Richmond has a stud point guard. I feel like they always have a stud point guard. This year it's Delaney Hunt, who is up on Prize Picks for tonight at 14.5 points for Charlotte. I don't love points in this game, or else I'd maybe give that a look. I like the under in this game. And I think if Richmond wins, like you talked about, it's going to be with the defensive side of the ball coming on the road. And that total is down 3 points. So not looking to play our guy Delaney Hunt, but just keep an eye on him. He is a stud, and we'll probably be taking him on Prize Picks at some point this season for the Richmond Spiders. Okay. Give me Richmond, Gates. I like it. I'll probably tell that shit with you as well. And yeah, Godsent, you're not wrong. That is kind of the squad this year. It's pretty much Delaney Hunt, and that's it. Usually Richmond has a pretty solid big man. They have a young big man this year that's playing pretty well, but I need to see him really first before I can give a good opinion on him. They typically have like a good senior big man that they've been just waiting, who's typically from overseas, but they got a young guy in the paint this year. I don't know if that's going to be good enough, but against Charlotte, what do you got to worry about? It's got to be the Spiders. It's at least the sharp side. Yeah, give me the Spiders +1.5 here.
All right,
I like it.
Cut the shit, Krabs. Are we taking Lemoyne against UConn or what?
I don't know if we can take that, bro. 37.5. Holy shit. I mean, it probably should be in the 40s. This spread, to be honest with you, is that some respect on the Dolphins? Look at people betting the Dolphins on the spread.
Those are sick
Not many.
people. Sick people.
Not many, but there's people out there. Look, they got more money on them. That's crazy. No, I will not be betting or fading the Lemoyne Dolphins today. I'll be rooting for them on the road when they're playing UConn, but no, I will not be betting the Lemoyne Dolphins. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Figured.
Speaking of rando teams, what about Canisius laying 1.5 on the road to Mercyhurst, D1's newest team?
The GOATs, dude. Mercyhurst, I mean, they might win the tournament at this point.
They might go.
They might be goated.
They might be going to the dance. They just beat Morgan State on the roads. I think they're 2-1 this season. Yeah, this team is not good, but I've been going back and forth on this game. I'm seeing the line at a pick 'em now. I originally liked Canisius on the road, who's 0-2, still looking for their first win. That was a hungry Canisius squad. The Golden Eagles last year, I think, is their mascot. They were good last year. They were solid. They finished the year pretty strong as well. I wouldn't mind a Canisius look on the road here. Mercyhurst has their first home game of the season, their first home game in D1. You think they're winning that game? A lot of pressure. I'd lean Canisius. The Golden Griffins. Sure, how could I forget? I would lean Canisius here as favorites on the road. That's a lot of pressure for Mercyhurst, the Lakers, in their first home game as a D1 team.
I don't want to fade them in their first home game, dude. It feels like a big moment.
I'm not doing it, but that kind of seems like lights are too bright for Mercyhurst, and they end up 2-2 after this game tonight.
That's fair.
That's kind of what it feels like.
I will say, I remember, I feel like we went through this last year with Lemoyne. It was like their first time playing a D1 opponent at home, and they mucked.
Yep.
I can't remember. I should probably look and see who that was against, but I remember us having this conversation.
Maybe don't fade the new D1 squad. Let it play out.
Played Dartmouth.
Ooh.
First D1 game last year. They won by almost 30.
Wow. That's crazy. Their first home game?
Yeah, and funny enough,
That's crazy.
same exact spread. It was Dartmouth -1.5 on the road.
All right, I'm off. I am seeing that LC likes Canisius, though. That's a good sign. Good sign. Giote's asking what's good with the Seton Hall line. We'll get to it. For now, let's keep moving and grooving here. We'll look at some of these other games. North Texas and Minnesota. I almost put North Texas on the Sharp report, but I'm going to stay off because I've heard some terrible sell jobs on the socials, or seen some terrible sell jobs on the socials back in North Texas. And I've seen people being like, well, Minnesota just barely beat Omaha in their last game, and North Texas looks great in their 2 games against fucking made-up teams. Yeah, I'm out. But I lean the Mean Green on the road, and I do think they have a better squads. I'm just worried about Dawson Garcia, and there's nobody on this North Texas team that can cover Dawson Garcia. So he's probably going to go off.
Playing, dude.
I think he's playing.
I think he's supposed to play, but I don't know that that's a certainty. It's like I certainly don't want to get caught in fading Minnesota if he ends up not being on the court. Wow. Then that feels crappy as ma.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if he's not playing and this is the spread, I certainly don't like North Texas. If he's playing and this is the spread, I still lean North Texas, but I really don't want to bet it after hearing some of these bad sell jobs today on the Mean Green.
I don't want to play basketball. They might need Landon Sides tonight.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, look, this North Texas team, though, they look good so far. They might not need him yet. They look good. They do. They got 2 studs on that team as well, 2 stud guards. All right, let's keep moving and grooving here. I'm looking at Hofstra and Seton Hall. This is a popular game from the chat. They wanted to talk about this one. Look, this Seton Hall team, the roster, they're not good. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in their conference preseason, unless their coach can just pull off another miracle here. I'm not big on the Seton Hall squads, and I mean, they just lost outright to Fordham. So I'm not really in the market to fade them in this spot after they've already had a fucking terrible loss. And Hofstra has been pretty fucking solid so far this season as well. I believe they're 2-0 so far this season, and they had a big win against Iona in their only real game. So it's kind of like a buy high spot for Hofstra. Definitely out on the pride there. But I don't want to bet Seton Hall either because I think they stink. But I've been kind of going back and forth with this game, Jovan. I don't really know where my head resides, on the sides. I don't want to fade Seton Hall, but certainly not, backing them with that roster. I just don't believe in them and what they have.
My gut immediately tells me about this game. This game screams Villanova yesterday to me, where it's the big name team coming off a loss in a game they obviously shouldn't have lost. And then this seems like the pretty simple, easy bounce back spot game that I assume is going to be decently popular. And then Hofstra ends up covering and maybe winning, maybe handing them a second shitty loss in a row. It's like, I kind of want Hofstra. The team's kind of deep too. I mean, they got 3-4 guys that are going to be scoring or can score and give you a bucket any time. They're not the same team that's been like just chucking threes year to year because they don't have the guys for that anymore, but still a good team. So I mean, my gut's telling me it's the pride, dude.
Okay. Down from 5.5 to 5. You're probably right. I just can't do it. I can't buy high on Hofstra and sell low, I guess, on Seton Hall after that bad loss. But I do think they might just be that bad.
I'm standing on business. I told Krabs like Seton Hall earlier. I'm standing on it.
Is it Goots POD?
Goots POD.
The POD is Richmond.
Wow. Goots POD Richmond.
Yeah.
In CBB today. Love that. Good. All right. Chat, keep tracking those Goots PODs. Knock on wood. I've been pretty solid of late over the last couple of weeks. So Richmond, the Spiders. My aunt went there. Look, you have a soft spot in my heart for them. Always rooted for the Spiders. Could never get in there. I toured there one time. I told my dad, I said, there's no fucking way I'm getting in this school. Why are we here? Very nice school. Let's hope their basketball team is nice today as well. All right, Gootsy. Let's move. Let's groove. How about FGCU St. Bonaventure? This is a game that a lot of sharps are targeting. I've seen people in chat here today. I've seen people on the feed earlier today back in FGCU. I kind of want to do it. I just don't know if I have the nuts seeing St. Bonaventure moving from -1.5 to -2.5 here on the roads. And FGCU still carries that big name, Dunk City, a school or a team that people like backing as an underdog. And they're getting some bets as well on the spread, at least. I don't like seeing that. People really don't want to back St. Bonaventure here when they're 2-0. The sharp side has to be FGCU, but I really try to stay away from these trendy mid-major teams like FGCU, especially ones that I do think are just bad and overrated a little bit based on their program's name. So I really don't want to bet it, but I lean FGCU at home. Curious to hear your thoughts, Jovan, on fading or backing the Bonnies tonight on the road.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to get caught taking FGCU today. I'd be lying if I was loving the Bonnies either. But you know what I personally hate doing outside of just betting very popular Twitter PRDs? I hate backing a team against a team that's like of similar comp after that team just covers and looks pretty good, frankly, against a power conference team, which I know like FGCU ended up barely covering the game against TCU, but I watched a good chunk of that game and they were physical. The game was close for about 30 minutes and really the cover was never really in doubt. So like not only did they do that, but they also played a pretty good Greensboro team and they went bar for bar with them for a while. So now they're coming home for the first time. Maybe it seems a little easy. Sure. It's probably why it's going to be popular today, but I can't say I'm getting the counter.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm out on this game. What about Green Bay and Western Illinois? Don't get too excited. You got Doug Gottlieb's Green Bay boys. GB. Great name. 0-2. Still looking for their first win. Still hungry. I'm sure Coach wants to get a win here on the road as well against not a very good Western Illinois squads. I kind of like Green Bay down from +4 to +1.5, +2. Depends on where you're looking. Definitely looks like the sharp sides. Green Bay on the roads. Does Doug Gottlieb get his first win as a head coach?
I think he might.
I think he does.
I'm with you. I might get involved with that too because they've looked. I didn't watch their game against St. Thomas because I am not that miserable, but I did watch some of their game against Oklahoma State. And they look pretty good. Seems like emphasis for them is just to shoot a lot of threes, and that would make sense with the roster they've kind of assembled. And if there's any team to kind of look good doing that against, I think Western Illinois is a fantastic candidate. So I know they're on the road. You'd probably ideally want a 3-point breakout to come at home, but this could be the spot. I don't mind that at all. Doug getting his first win.
We got Spencer Bisk coming in resubbing as well. It's Tennessee big tonight, he says. Ooh, okay, Spence. Rolling with the Volunteers. Zakai Ziegler and co. All right. We'll talk about that game in a moment here. W Subby Spencer, we appreciate you, my man. And QTSN Locks. Forget if we shouted you out or not, but we appreciate your subby as well for 9 months. Love to see it. Yeah, I like Green Bay, and the more that spread comes down to almost a pick 'em, the more I want to take them. I'm going to have to just ride Green Bay there on the +2 spread if I can still get that number. All right. Speaking of Tennessee, maybe we go to that game real quick. Maybe we talk about Tennessee.
Quick trip?
Yeah, let's take a quick trip. Chat, what do you guys think about the Vols? Any thoughts against Montana tonight? Up from 23 to 25.5, depends on where you're looking. Tennessee's taking care of business so far this season. The first game was kind of close against what was that Weber State, I think they were playing. Their first game of the season, didn't cover. They only won by like 15, kind of sketchy, but then they absolutely destroy Louisville, a team that I was very high on at Louisville on the roads. Lights might have been too bright for Louisville and Pat Kelsey in that first big home game. Tennessee coming in off that big win, though. I don't want to bet them, but seeing that spread moving up and seeing how bad Montana's been this season, man, they got destroyed by Oregon. Oh, my goodness. They only put up 48 points. Really and Oregon team has not looked too sharp so far this season. So I'm not in a rush to fade or to back Tennessee here in this spot, but I certainly don't want to back Montana and the Grizzlies with the way that line's moving up to 25.5. Are you kidding me?
Same headspace.
Yeah,
I like the matchup for Tennessee. It's just after that game against Louisville, I can't do it.
Yeah, that's fair. It's tough to bet Tennessee in this spot coming off that big win on the road. It's tough to bet them. We got QTSN Locks coming in, dropping 5 subbies to the people. 5U Whaler. Let's go, Locks.
Go.
Sure we can. The Watts, VF. We got Jackson Gregory, Stimp, and Canes for Life. You guys all just got blessed up. Looks like QTSN Locks is in chat. BTL saved my bankroll. Let's fucking go, dude. Sure we can.
Goat.
Sure we can. Love to see it. Love to see the goats in chat as well. What's up, Lancer? How we doing, Beast? All right. A couple more college basketball games, and then we'll get to the ice. We'll get to the NBA. We'll go over some of those angles and plays. Let's look at some of these later games in college basketball. Troy and Arkansas. I would love to talk about with you, Jovan, because right off the rip, just looking at this game, it's got to be Troy. Looking at the spread, right? But Arkansas is also coming off of a bad loss. A bad loss. And is Troy a team that I want to get involved with today? coming in off of 2 big wins? Not really. They just destroyed a New Orleans team that's been solid in years past, and Arkansas is coming in off that loss against Baylor in a game that I thought at times they might have pulled off that win. Got to be kind of a demoralizing loss there. Still ranked. Arkansas laying 12.5 at home, down from 13.5. Is it Troy? Or are we staying off of fading Arkansas coming off that loss?
Yeah, kind of like Tennessee situation. I do kind of like Troy. I just don't want to bet Troy with Arkansas coming off of that loss. Where honestly, like, they didn't even look that bad. Like, Baylor, I think, just played pretty well. Arkansas kept themselves in the game. We were watching some of that game throughout the college football slate, but it wasn't a bad game from them. So, like, they need a get-right game, and it's not the easiest matchup to do it against Troy, which is kind of still kind of like the points, but I don't know. I'm going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, Troy's got a couple buckets. They win with defense, though, really. Tenacity, the Troy Trojans. I still think that spread is ridiculous, to be honest with you. The fact that that's even close to 10, ranked Arkansas against Troy. Like, come on, it's got to be Troy. I just don't know if I'm going to get to the counter there with the Trojans. Coming in 2-0 with Arkansas coming in off that bad loss, right? Not even a bad loss, but a game they could have won. Not in a rush to fade them, right? They probably bounce back at home and win this game. It's just a matter of by how much.
Probably do. A game that I think we skipped because I forgot about it. That I want to get your thoughts on, because one of my takes preseason was on this team that I thought that during non-conference they're going to be a cash cow. We talked about that and take some bigger spreads, and I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't stand on business with them because they won outright as 8-point dogs in game 1. What about Merrimack against VCU today? Against 16.5. In 16
you know how I feel about VCU.
Yeah, love VCU. I mean, they've had some.
You know how I feel about Shoga.
They've had some destructions. I mean, they just beat, not the Boston College is really all that good, but they just beat them by 25, absolutely demolished them in that little tournament game. Did the same to Bellarmine. Like, playing well to start the season. I just feel like this is a classic low-scoring slugfest game where I would love to take 16.5 points with Merrimack.
It's got to be all alumni money on this game, right? Only 6K. All the money's on the fucking Merrimack spread. What are we doing? Huh. Weird. Looks like Big Cheesy put Merrimack in a teaser. I don't think 16.5 is enough. Big Cheesy, bless your heart, man. I hope it hits. It still might hit, probably the sharp side, but can we please not be teasing college basketball? Those 4 points in college basketball don't mean anything in a teaser. I've never understood why people tease basketball. Those points mean nothing. You should only really be teasing the NFL where the points actually matter. But I'm not, Stu Feiner himself, so I don't make the rules. But I don't know if I'd be teasing CBB, man. I don't know if I'd be teasing CBB. I think you either trust your guns, you take the spreads, or you move. Never even heard of a CBB tease, Dead Larry Bird saying. I mean, yeah. But look, as long as it hits, it hits. I just don't know if it does. I don't know if I can fade VCU, Jovan. Not with Merrimack coming off that big outright win.
Yeah, and I get it. I just want to share with you because, like, my gut, they're giving me, I know it's only been one game, but I said
that's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. I kind of, if they continue to do this for the next couple games, they're giving me McNeese vibes from last year. Not that they're nearly as good, but, like, I went into every single game saying, okay, I'm going to take them a lot in non-conference when they're getting points because I think that's going to be profitable because I think they're undervalued. I didn't do it game 1. I don't want to get stuck behind the 8 ball, not doing it now and standing on my business if they're not, because there's some games coming up where I want it to be established.
I mean, look, Merrimack, they got to be solid. They held Vermont to 51 points. One of the best coached mid-majors in the country in Vermont. They held them to 51 points. VCU, they're certainly not going to be scoring at ease like they have in their first couple games this season. And honestly, Merrimack's defense is probably better than fucking BC's. They're terrible. Oh, you seen that team play this year? Jesus, man. What a joke. What a joke. It's just like Hokies football. How is that team not better? How is that team not okay? What a joke. Boston College can't be better at college basketball. Come on. This Merrimack defense might be better. I could get down with the spreads. You just know I don't like fading Shoga or my VCU Rams, who I predicted on the pods. It's going to be undefeated after the first couple weeks of the season and be ranked. Still going according to plan. They win this game. but they might not cover that 16.5. It's probably more like a 10-point game.
Yeah.
I can see
I'm in
it.
on that. I'm going to take
I can
it.
see it. All right. Chat, what other games in college you guys want us to touch on or talk about? Let me know. Any plays in Houston and ULL? I got nothing in that one. That's a fat spread, though.
Yeah, I don't back really any mid-major teams against Houston and non-con. So it just feels like it's always when they lock in. Not that they're like undefeated ATS every single year, but it's a scary proposition.
I agree. Now, do I bring up Wyoming? Once an old friend, turn an enemy, right? This team has cost us coins.
That spread, dude.
Yeah, I kind of want to take those points. Not gonna lie to you.
Short. Looks really short.
I don't want to take Sundance Wicks squad for Wyoming here on the roads. Look, that coach, playing for him is not for the faint of heart. He is tough. He's tough. I mean, the majority of this team quit a couple of years ago, mid-season. It was crazy. Texas Tech, I don't think is that good. I think they're overrated, and that spread down to 20, though, is pretty crazy. And Wyoming's off to a pretty solid start so far this season. I know they haven't played anybody good yet, but they put up 81 points against Tennessee State. So that's impressive for me for a Wyoming squad that leans on their defense. Maybe it's Sundance Wicks boys getting fucking locked in here on the roads, keeping this one within 20, right? Keeping it within 3 touchdowns. I could see that. It's got to be the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I mean, I love Texas Tech this year, and I think they're probably the most underrated team in the Big 12. That's going to be the final say there when we come to March. But I faded. I forget who they played early in non-conference that I faded, but I faded them because I think defensively this is one of the best Texas Tech teams that McCaslin has had, and he's going to pressure the ball a shit ton. So like if you have young inexperienced guards that are going to turn it over, you're going to be fucked. Wyoming starting not only experienced guards, but their whole starting 5, all seniors. So like if there's any team that can go in there a little more composed, because that's a tough place to play and you're going to be seeing a lot of pressure. I feel like that's a team that one of the few I would kind of trust to be a little better.
There's nothing I would love more than backing the Cowboys on the road against Texas Tech tonight. Love that. Love that. Look, that spread's a little short. I know Wyoming's coming in 2-0, but Texas Tech has looked pretty good. That should be more like 24.5, 25.5. No reason that spread should be coming down towards Wyoming. No reason.
Yeah, really odd.
It's got to be the Cowboys. All right. What about Kent State and Auburn? 2-2-0 squads. Obviously, 2 different skill levels here. Not a big Kent State guy since Sincere Carey's left. Is it Auburn winning big in this game? They've taken care of business so far this season. I'm not in a rush to back them after we took them this weekend on the road at Houston. They won outright. Maybe this is a Kent State spot. Maybe we fade Auburn, a very well-coached Kent State team.
Yeah, and I don't really believe in Kent State, but after betting them their first 2 games with the blowout against Vermont, who is still a really good mid-major team, and then beating Houston on the road. It was in Houston, but technically neutral site.
Sure.
I am not betting Auburn until they don't cover.
Until they do something bad. Okay.
Can't go 3 times in a row or even more. I'll let it splooge. They have a Iowa State tournament game in Maui, I think, in a week and a half, maybe. I will not be betting them till then.
That's fair. I certainly would not be betting them tonight coming in off that big win. No chance. We got Zeldin coming in, resubbing for 12 months. Let's go, Zeldin. He says Rashul Diggins points today. I was looking at that earlier. One of the more popular squares on Prize Picks. I'm not really in a rush to bet that, but take a peep at it again on UMass. 18.5. I mean, he's their best player. He's carried them so far this season. Looks a little bit too easy for me. And looking at the spread in this game as well, flip from Louisiana Tech, plus money to now a favorite. Probably good on backing the UMass squares, to be honest with you. There was one square on UMass that I'd rather back, though, and it was that Jalen Curry 1.5-3 square that's red as ma. If I had to take a UMass square, I would take Jalen Curry, who might turn into Steph Curry tonight. Looking at that square, right?
Yeah,
maybe it's Jalen Curry.
The whole team, I would assume, is going to have to spray because Louisiana Tech's got Bacho inside, and he's been pretty good. Actually, like the Bacho, I think Texas Tech was expecting to get over there. So they're probably going to be shooting quite a few threes. Diggins obviously does that, but so does Curry, ironically.
We got Money Talk Sports dropping a follow on Twitch. W's, we appreciate you. Everybody else, drop a follow as well if you haven't already. He's asking, can we look at the Creighton game? I like the team total or even them on the spread to get Dougie his franchise-leading win in fashion. Well, Creighton still 2-0, still ranked, but I think we can all agree Creighton has not looked too good so far this season. They barely beat UTRGV, and then they did, stomp on Fairleigh Dickinson, but they didn't even cover that game. They only won by 26. They were laying like 37 in that game. So Creighton has yet to cover a game this season. Could this be the spot at home against Houston Baptist, aka Houston Christian now, who's looked fucking abysmal so far this season in their couple games? Is it Creighton just, getting their first big actual good win at home when it means more for coach? It probably is. It probably is. And I'd probably go spread over team total. That team total is going to be high as shit. I would just take the spread if you're going to take them here. But I won't be betting that myself.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what I do know about Houston Christian, because a lot of the Southland teams are kind of like this. They play like 5 out. Like all the Southland teams that are not named McNeese are super, super small. It's like Houston Christian's tallest player, I think, is that actually gets minutes is 6'6". So Kalkbrenner might score 50 again.
It might be another 50 piece. Jesus. Is he up?
No chance he's up against Houston Christian.
They're not putting him up, bro. Not after what he did the other day. No chance he's going up on that board.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, you're probably not going to catch me actually betting on Creighton any game that Pop Isaacs plays. And I assume he's playing because he played last game. But if there's any game for them to absolutely demolish a team, it's probably this one.
This one means more as well for coach. All right. Team totals at 96.5. Holy shit. I think Houston Baptist keeps up because they can shoot the 3 and Creighton cannot guard the 3. I feel like you're going to see a different Creighton team on both sides, not even both sides of the ball, on defense, where they haven't done a single thing this season. This game means more, like you said in chat. I wouldn't be surprised if their defense locks in and if Houston Christian struggles to score. But if you're thinking maybe they get some lucky 3s, they keep hanging around, then go with that team total. It's high as shit. Yeah, you're banking on them scoring 100 points though in college. You're asking for a lot.
They shoot the 3. They're not great at it. They do this every year. Plus, like when you're a good 3-point shooting team, or at least a decent 3-point shooting team, and you're pretty much completely ruled out of scoring in the paint, that doesn't help you a little bit. It's like I don't know who for Houston Christian is driving in on Kalkbrenner, respectfully, even if because somebody's going to drive past Pop Isaacs because he's a traffic cone. Thing is, they don't really do that if it's not in transition.
Okay. All right. We got a first-time chatter. It doesn't say your first-time chatter, but you got a highlighted message here. M. Brewy. Sup, dudes? Normally I don't get a chance to watch you guys, so always enjoy this. Do you guys have your records public? Just curious of what you two wind up taking. We track the squad rides. I track all my bets as well. We use Pickett to track. So you can follow me on Pickets. You can follow me a couple other places as well. You can follow us on Twitter. Our names are right down there on the screen. I think these are our Twitter @s as well. So check those puppies out if you want to see what our plays are. And follow us on Pickets. Possible Bannovator. Yeah, Kish, keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes peeled, Kish.
Keep your eyes peeled. All right? Stay locked. Dubs. Zeldin saying Charlotte ML. Not today, my man. Can't be, Zeldin. Appreciate you using the highlighted message, though, but not today. Not today. Unless he's talking about the fucking Hornets. And maybe that's a good segue to the NBA. Are there any other late-night Geysermans in college that you wanted to talk about? I gave Long Beach State a look on the spread, but that was about it against San Fran, who's 2-0. And that might be the only real lean or angle I have late night in college.
Yeah.
You got any late night plays? Also, your Cal bet's down to +7.5, so love to see that.
Wow.
Good.
COV.
Good. I'll be tailing that one.
There's a couple that I liked. I thought Nevada it was a little odd for them to be up to 17.5 now against Weber State. I thought that was.
I mean, they got a lot to prove this year too. They lost all their goats. They lose Lucas. They lose Blackshear. They have all their young guys left from last season as well. A couple good players. Davidson,
Weber
I believe,
State,
pretty solid forward.
Weber State's been pretty abysmal. The first, they looked abysmal against Oregon State.
I mean,
first real game of the season. Yeah, it's just like I feel like if you're in Nevada, like we've already seen it, I guess, with Sam Houston in the game. Like if a team you want to get out and run on them and to stay out of the half court, which probably is going to be the case against Weber State, like they're actually kind of good. Put up 91 points. It's like I could see the same thing happening there. So lean Nevada. Didn't know that I was going to get there. I did lean UTA too against USC. Another one that's kind of weird. Like UT Arlington, like a weird, scrappy team, and USC has been pretty good to start the season. But no, or honorable mention, Prize Pick Square, Deontay Smith, former TCU legend, points.
Sure.
I like that against USC. He loves to step up and be hero ball guy. Whenever he played at Nichols too last year, whenever they play a big opponent, he shoots fucking 40 times. So like I think that's gonna happen again today. But I think they're gonna grind one out. That'll be a somewhat close game.
Still looking for their first cover, I think, this season. I don't know if they had a spread in their one win against the made-up team, but USC comes in undefeated. Although, I mean, we saw that game against Idaho State in their last one. They barely beat them. Shout out the Potatoes. The Potatoes might be legit this season, bro. Straight up.
Yeah,
Idaho State hanging around.
Kind of gritty.
Unbelievable. Yeah, fade the Trojans. Death taxes and fade the Trojans. That's how you make coins. In any sport, really. They just don't fucking cover or respect coins. All right. W's, you want to take us to the ice really quick? And we can go over the rest of these plays. You can talk about them. I'll chime in, but let's go through the ice and then we'll take a peep at the NBA before we get to the squad ride here. What do you like on the ice?
Quick ice. I don't really have too much on the ice. I like the over in the Red Wings Penguins game. I already talked about that. Red Wings off of a shutout. Penguins off of getting absolutely embarrassed. Now you're going to get some organizational switch up. I think both these teams come out aggressive, so I'm in on that. The only other play that I really think I might get to the counter with in the NHL is the Kings, who we talk about this every time, whether the line's sharp or whether it's not. The Avs at home usually get a lot of line respect, and don't really think they're getting it here, especially with the Kings coming off of, I don't know, 2 of 3 games where they're really struggled offensively. I'm not really counting the CBJ game because that team is absolutely rat pissed right now, but they got shut down by Dustin Wolf and they got shut down by the Canucks 2 of those 3 games. So the fact that we're seeing as short of a line for the Kings, I think this is a weird game they sneak on the road at Colorado.
Dude, I was looking at that game too. I wanted your thoughts. Kings on the roads. I know you're talking about the Avs typically getting line respect at home. This game, they're really not. And then maybe the Avs are getting a hair of line movement, really not much, a couple cents. LA coming in off of losses in 2 of their last 3 games. Avs looking like they're getting back on track after back-to-back wins. You want to roll with the Kings here on the road at plus chicken?
Yeah, I'm probably going to get with
that line's Kings. A little short, right? Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I could get down with that. I was hoping you were going to say that. Yeah, Avs typically, I don't know the last time I've seen the Avs laying something close to bettable on the ML really at home. I know it's against a solid team, the Kings, at least a good record, but they haven't played great recently. You want to buy low on them after some losses?
Yeah, and I mean, the Avs are starting to get a little healthier and start playing well. They just had a big-time emotional win against the Preds, I think, in overtime in a game that they honestly probably should have lost. So they're coming off of that. I want to take the Kings.
Can I get a thumbs up from Ron Mux in chat? I know you are a Avs whisperer. Are we good to fade the Avs and take the Kings tonight, Ron? Let me know in chat.
Darcy back in Denver. Yes.
Kemper back in Denver, revenge spot, eh?
Might need that.
Wow.
Need that. Where his
that's all I need to hear is a fucking revenge angle. You're talking about the goalie for the Kings?
Saves. Yeah.
The goalie against the Kings playing his former team.
He's in net today.
Huh. Fruity, that could be a good catch, man. Shit. How's that goalie save square looking? And it's not up.
He doesn't have one yet. So maybe he's not confirmed.
We'll keep our eyes peeled, though. He says he likes his saves today. And the under in the game. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna need his save square in a lineup ASAP once that gets up there.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Let me know if that goes up. All right. Any thoughts on the Caps? We'd love to hear your thoughts. 10-4, the Caps are right now. Playing some good hockey.
Yeah, the Caps are good.
Playing some good hockey. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really know that I have want to play them today because this is like a disaster as far as like all the situational spots I play. This is a disaster of one because they just destroyed the sharp St. Louis Blues 8-1, and Leafs are coming off of, I mean, one of their worst healthy performances of the year. They got shut out by the team that owns them in the Sens literally yesterday. So situationally, I mean, screams Leafs. I'm not betting the Leafs because I have to be like super, super in on the Leafs to get down with them. But all signs point, even with the line move towards the Caps, to bet against that.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
What are the Caps feeding these goalies, bro? I feel like they find the randomest goalies of all time that just turn out to be on their fucking heads more often than not. It's crazy.
You know
Logan
what
Thompson,
else
come on.
is you know what else is kind of making me have a weird feeling about this game too? Logan Thompson is starting. This is the first time the Caps have had consecutive starts for the goalie this year. They've usually gone
Interesting.
They've gone back and forth every single time. So now they're fully committing to him and saying, all right, go give us a second good start in a row. With him coming off of a really good performance, the whole team coming off of an absolute destruction, the Leafs coming off a back-to-back and getting shut out yesterday.
Huh.
It all seems way too easy.
All right. Well, fading the Caps is bad business this season. I've tried to do it at times as well.
That's why I'm not doing
it. Hasn't worked.
Yeah.
All right. So selfishly, I hope that continues. Well, let's just stay off this game, maybe see how it plays out.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, if I was Wayne Gretzky right now, I would be quivering in my boots, shaking. I would be fucking nervous, scared, angry. He's breaking that fucking record.
I mean, honestly,
Might not be this year.
I'd be scared if I was Wayne Gretzky about fucking Connor McMichael, dude. That guy's the greatest hockey player I've ever seen.
He's him. I remember we drafted him a couple years ago. One of my hockey buddies is like, this kid's the future. Didn't see too much early on. You know, he's been playing for a couple of years now. Didn't do much early on, but this kid's a stud. He's taken over. Strome's a beast as well. They got good young guys. And these guys they brought in free agency, these veterans have all been pretty fucking good. We got Jacob Vrana back. Bless his heart. Good to see he's doing better. He's made an impact. Gotta love this Caps team and what's going on over there right now. It's hard not to root for them or like them, right?
Have to.
Great story. Great story. Shout out the owner for not caving, not rebuilding. And whatever the hell they're doing, whoever's running the show right now for the Caps, knock on wood, doing a great job. Team looks great. Team looks great.
With all that said, Logan Thompson might lose his first game of the season today.
Okay. Yeah, after all that gas, you know what to do. Somebody in chat said, first the Commanders, now the Caps. What's next? The Wizards? Nah, we're not going to talk about the Wizards. Nope.
No, you'll get some
Not
Wizards.
today.
You're like maybe 2 years off from the Wizards.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from them too. Yeah. Although Sar's a bust. I've already seen it. Sar's a bust.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
He's a bust. He's a bust. All right, NBA. Speak of the devil. You want to head over to the NBA? You got anything else on the ice for us or what?
No, nothing more on the ice for me.
Cool.
Go to the association.
Take a peep at the NBA. Yep. Also, prayers up for Coach Pop. I mean, what we heard, a little while ago with him, having some issues and it coming out today that he had a stroke. Prayers up for Coach Pop. Apparently it's minor. He's going to recover. He'll be fine. But at his age, that shit's scary. So prayers up for Coach Pop, one of the greatest coaches of all time. And with that being said, it's probably hard not to bet the Spurs tonight for Coach against my Wizards as well. They're up to 9.5 on the spreads. And I don't know why that line's moving. Maybe there's some injury stuff. I have the fucking lineups right here. But I feel like that line movement could literally solely be on a narrative for Coach Pop. Because we all know what the Spurs are going to come out and do today at home. I mean, come on.
They might muck.
That's a narrative that I could get behind. Even fading my Wizards, it's got to be the Spurs. It's got to be the Spurs.
Probably is.
Also, I meant to bring this up earlier when you were talking about the T-Wolves. Good chance we got some injuries for the Trailblazers here. Like, I don't know if Anthony Simons is going to play. I saw a funny tweet the other day. I guess it wasn't funny. It was about his injury, but people were freaking out. And then the Trailblazers account quoted it with the gambling hotline number, saying you always mess up our parlays. I don't know if he's going to play. That could be, a huge impact. And that kind of sketches me out with back in the T-Wolves. You know how my brain works. Have you baked that in at all? Are you concerned about some injuries for Portland side?
Yeah, I mean, I'm counting this in my head as the second game without Simons because he got hurt like the second the game started.
Yep.
So I'm pretending like he didn't even touch the floor in that game because he played like
that's
4
fair.
minutes. So
that's fair.
It's already baked in.
Okay. All right. Dead Larry Bird in chat saying he likes the Rockets tonight. I don't know if I'm sprinting to the books to bet the Rockets right now. They're on fire. They're playing great. I do think they have a really good coach. Might not be the greatest guy, but good coach. Clippers coming in off a loss. Probably can't back the Rockets, but they're getting some line respect against the Clippers team that I feel like people would say is the better squad, but Houston's at home. They have the better record right now. Their young guys have been playing well. And the Clippers are getting all the bets, though.
I'm legally obligated to show you this square. It has been up a couple times when it's looked like this, and I haven't taken it one time. I kind of want to today.
Give me.
Fred Van Vliet threes is one of the most absurd charts I have seen so far in the NBA season.
Okay.
That is actually crazy. I have to get your eyes on that.
My eyes are on it, and I want to take it. My eyes are on it. I'm looking at it right now. Fred Van Vliet, red is my chart. 2.5 3-pointers made. I'll take that more than with you. Sign me up. How is this not on the sharp report? What are we doing?
Because I've seen it a couple times. It hasn't been nearly like as egregiously red as it is today, but
okay,
it's an insane square. And this comes like I don't know how I got on like somewhat of Rockets Twitter, but I've been seeing so much Fred Van Vliet bitching on my timeline lately about how awful he's been.
Well, you want to know what his odds are at for threes?
Probably not great, dude. He's not even shooting them.
I mean, yeah, the under 2.5 is -125 on the books, but still a nasty square.
Yeah, gross square. Gross square.
Adam's saying he might not play today. Also something to monitor.
Out.
Okay. Very good points. W, Adam. Also, Adam, happy to hear that you're going to meet up with us in Atlanta this weekend. W's. Congratulations. Good to see a good guy get one there. Excited to hang out with you this weekend. Big weekend coming up. All right, I'm looking at the injuries for Houston. Yeah, Fred Van Vliet, game time decision, questionable. All right. Might miss his second straight game. He's already missed one. Yeah, he might not be playing. Okay. We'll see. TBD if he plays. Jovan, I'm down to take that square there no matter what. I don't care what the odds are. It's fucking nasty. Sign me up.
Sure.
Sign me up. All right. Couple other angles, couple other games. There is that Memphis and LA game late night tonight on ESPN, 10 p.m. Rumors are swirling that maybe Ja Morant is not playing in this game. Looks like he's out.
He's sidelined for a couple weeks.
For a while.
I think it is.
Yeah. Desmond Bane's still out. Gigi Jackson's still out. Cam Spencer, CBB legend, still out. These guys haven't played in a minute. Marcus Smart is game time decision. Brandon Clark, game time decision. A lot of injuries on the Memphis side of the ball. Looks like Anthony Davis is probable for tonight. No other real injuries for the Lakers that should matter too much. I guess D. Russ expected to play as well with an illness. I kind of wanted to take the Grizzlies, take the degen approach here, Jovan, and buy the bad news. They're down from 7 to 6.5 on the roads without some of their stars. I kind of like the plus 6.5 for Memphis here. What are your thoughts?
I could get down with that. Could certainly get down with that. My only reason I wasn't fully on this game, and I know this was when they're fully healthy, so the same things don't really apply, but they did just beat the shit out of the Lakers like a week ago. It's the only reason. It was with Ja, it was with Bane, it was with everybody pretty much healthy.
Yeah,
but
that I don't love.
But I'm sure that's still in their head.
Yeah, that I don't love though. Okay. Yeah, I don't like Memphis as much after hearing that. They just beat them when they were healthy. Lakers are going to try to get revenge tonight.
Yeah, it was
still a short spread though with all the injuries.
Very popular, like short spread, sharp spot play, or short spread, sharp spot play. At home, they were a short favorite, and then I think AD ended up getting ruled out of that game, and then they mucked. I could be wrong on that, chat. I think that was that game. Correct me if I am, but yeah, I don't really want to fade the Lakers. Some revenge on their mind.
Okay, that's fair. More than fair. All right, what else we got in chat? What else do you guys liking in the NBA? ED rebounds tonight? Sure. Okay. All right, it might be squad ride time, chat. It might be about that time. We went over the NBA. We touched on the NHL as well. We went through pretty much all the college basketball games that we had angles or leans on that mattered. College football, not a great look tonight for the action, but one play that I love. Again, don't want to let this get swept. Please do not let this play get swept. In love with one play tonight on the gridiron, and it's got to be Akron. Plus 14.5 on the road. Okay? Any thoughts for King of the Court tonight? You guys love that fucking promo, don't you? You guys just go fucking ape shit for that thing. Nice. My roommates go nuts over that too. They're always texting, who won that? Who are we taking tonight? I get it. Fat payout for a free bet there. Jovan, if you had to take somebody tonight to lead the NBA in PRA, who do you think it'll be? Are there any stars playing tonight you think might go off in a game that might not be a blowout? Any goats?
I'm going to need to look through and think about that for a second.
I know it's a hard question to put you right there on the spot. I mean, it could be AD doing it all himself tonight.
Yeah.
It could be AD. I'm looking at the highest PRA squares on Prize Picks. I think AD might have the highest one. Jason Tatum's up there as well. Somebody in chat was saying it's Jason Tatum day. I guess he cost them that game last night with a turnover. Maybe he bounces back today and locks in. It could be Tatum. 40.5 PRA. That's a high number.
I know.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Is that Trent?
You know who it is? It's probably Shea, right? Is that what he's about to say?
SGA. Is it like, so if you take somebody in like a specific category, is that how it applies?
I don't know exactly how it works, but I think if you opt in and you take some sort of NBA bet that night, you qualify, or if that player ends up leading the NBA and PRA that night, the player prop that you took, you get a piece of that free bet. Depends on how many people ended up locking in that player. But pretty much it's like if you took a player to do something else and they end up with the most PRA in the NBA, you get a fat free bet, I believe is what it is.
Okay.
And yeah, maybe it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that I just saw get bumped up from 43 to 43.5 right in front of my face.
Talking about Norm Powell, dude.
Okay.
Norm Powell is the greatest player in NBA history. Literally the greatest.
You know, Cade Cunningham, also an interesting option. He's got a really high PRA that's red. That could be a guy that's taking a little bit less tonight. Maybe it's Cade Cunningham.
Ooh, Cade.
Or you just go Wemby
against
for
the
coach.
Bucks.
That could be it. Or you go Wemby for coach. It could be Wemby for coach.
Wow.
He's got a high PRA as well. There's some options for you guys. Devin Booker as well plays tonight. He's got a high-ass PRA. That's probably the reddest I've looked at today at 40. He hasn't even sniffed that recently. Maybe it's D-Book going off tonight.
I was going to say, like, if there's a single, like, if you could take, like, assists, and it would be, like, the most assists, I would say, like, D-Book, I think, could be up there. Maybe a simple answer, because he was prime CP3 when they played the Kings last time, like a week ago. I don't think that was an accident, but they had his assist square up on Prize Picks, and it's the normal one's gone, or else that probably would have been at least honorable mention on Sharp Report. But maybe the Demons going in some entries, because he was not only like CP3 against the Kings the first time, but he was also Hero Ball Central last night.
Huh. Durant out still. Yep. I think in my gut, after going through some of those names, I think it's Devin Booker you take tonight. I think you take Devin Booker tonight, and potentially he ends up with the most PRA. We'll see.
Points.
We'll see who it is. We'll talk about it tomorrow on BTL.
Last
night,
who ends up winning that puppy. Huge day for BTL Goat Whale betters. D-Book 31.
Yeah.
Could be another
one.
We
were talking about that. It's going to come down to Damian Lillard hitting his fucking 50-point game, isn't it?
Yeah, because, I mean, Harden, or not Harden, Embiid had like 4 rebounds yesterday in his only game he played. Huge. Jaws hurt, but he's still like averaging like 9 or something, so he's over for now. We need to get Lillard already had 41 with Giannis like 2 weeks ago. Second Giannis gets ruled out, and Dame's playing.
We're gonna need it.
We're
gonna need it. It's got to be a game when Giannis is out, probably midway through the season.
I mean, we got time. After seeing that 41 piece and the fact that there are a couple of games where nobody else scores other than him and Giannis, I don't know if it has to, which is kind of crazy.
Okay. We'll see. I like your positivity with this. We're looking pretty sharp for the NBA Goat Whale as well. All right. Well, enough chitter chatter. Let's lock the fuck in, Jovan. Let's get to the squad rides. Enough bullshitting. Let's lock in the most important part of our day. Gucci, run that shit. I want to see that train. All right, chat. Squad rides have been hot. Don't let them get hot. It might be too late. 5-3 this month so far. Love to see it. Let's hit another one tonight. All right. Great call last night on the ice. Jovan, I'm looking at some of your plays here, my man. What's one of these plays that you just cannot live without, and why is it Cal?
It is. As much as I tried, or I mean, not I try. I do put tonsils on the football program. I do keep my Cal basketball bets to a minimum, because that team is not very good and it hasn't been good forever. But my spots, knock on wood, I've picked them very well. I think this is one of them.
I would love to put Cal plus 7.5 in here. You in?
Very in.
Good. All right. I want to put Akron plus 14.5 in here.
Sure. In on that.
I love the Zips. People forget last year, and maybe it was 2 years ago, but the Zips were 0-for. I think maybe even 0-for against the spread as well. And like one of the last games of the season, I bet them and they went outright. Crazy. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was like Christmas. Maybe Akron has good vibes. Let's hope they respect coins again tonight. We got Cal. We got Akron. I really like your T-Wolves play too, man. Shit. What do you like better, T-Wolves or that Penguins Red Wings over?
I like that Penguins Red Wings over.
All right,
be honest with you.
Fuck the NBA. We're putting that in there. I wouldn't mind going 3-piece.
3-piece?
Quality over quantity.
No Queens over in here?
I was about to say I like the Queens over, next up, I would say. But I also wouldn't mind just having quality over quantity, 3 plays, 3 winners.
Hey,
seeing where we end up.
Your Plums have been treating us well in the squad, right? I feel like you're directing traffic here. So whatever you think.
Let's go quality over quantity. Love that Queens over, but we'll leave it out. Really like these 3 plays. Cal plus 7.5, Akron plus 14.5, and the Red Wings Penguins over 6.5. 3 plays, 3 winners. Get involved, chat. If you're watching on YouTube, that's great. That's fine. That's cool. But get your ass over to the Twitch chat so you can lock in the vote for the squad ride poll. Get involved. Okay, don't just sit there. You got plenty of time. You got 2 or 3 minutes left still. Okay, W. Trent, we got the Surge stream coming up right after this as well, guys. So stick around. Okay, make sure you guys pitch Trent a winner for today. And hopefully it's better than that Eric Reynolds more than 17.5 prize pick square points that I gave him yesterday. He had 9 points.
He was in jail.
He literally couldn't get any shots up. I think their whole game plan was eliminate Eric Reynolds from this game, and it still didn't work. They still ended up winning. Crazy.
It almost kind of didn't work that they were winning that game. If they're trailing, I felt like he just would have gone and got a bucket just for shits half the time.
Probably.
He was adhering to the plan.
Yeah, and coming off his worst game, he might not have been in the mood to jack up that many shots, which I was a little bit surprised about. He's usually a shot jacker.
Yeah.
He might have been a little timid last night.
Next game,
hey, we take a win.
Yeah,
next game. Let's take him again.
I'll be back.
We'll take him again. I'm with you. Chat, 3 plays, 3 winners. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Lock in. We got the squad ride poll up in the Twitch chat. We got Cal plus 7.5, Akron plus 14.5, and the over on the ice. Damn, nobody likes Akron, huh?
Nobody likes Akron.
Shame.
They're scared of the action.
It's a winner, bro.
Getting swept.
2-0 this week in college football so far. We had 2 plays last night that smacked. This past weekend, 8-3 in college football. The only losses were Ball State team total under, which should have hit. App State ML, that was a most should play. And North Texas plus 6, it was on bad beats. That should have hit as well. They had 7 chances to score. Those were the only losses. The 8 wins, NIU ML, the under in Iowa, UCLA. Rice spread, BC ML. That was a great play against Syracuse. Kansas plus 2.5. Ole Miss, that was free. Maryland live, I took plus 24.5. Utah late night on Saturday. Guys, we're seeing the board great in college football. Get involved. Okay, don't let that play get swept, even if it doesn't win the squad ride vote. Lock that shit in responsibly tonight.
Mage.
The Akron Zips. Yeah, we're going over on the ice again.
Wow.
Chat likes what they saw yesterday. Sure.
Rav.
Sure.
Job is on the line tonight.
Rav,
Job is on the line for Rav.
You better be locked, Rav. Big game tonight. Big game tonight. And we're going with the over on the ice. Chat must have liked how last night went. We'll go back to the well. All right. We got the Red Wings and the Penguins over 6.5 W's. Guys, make sure you sign up for Team Trent. I'm going to keep saying it until you guys do it. Sign up for Team Trent. We'll drop the link one more time in the chat. Stick around for the Surge stream. Starting up right after this. Pitch Trent a winner. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time.